Hi friends, welcome to Srisai IT Hub. In this video of Core Java Programming, today we are going to discuss the following topic: Object as Parameter to Method. So let us start with Object as Parameter to Method. So first of all, what is method? Okay, so method is a block of code which is used to perform specific task in program. So method is block of code which is used to perform specific task in program. So example goes like this. Let us say that I want to perform sum of two numbers. So sum is the method. I'll take two input parameters, int a, int b, and then in the body I will perform int c. C is equals to a plus b, and then return c. So this return c data type is integer. So return type is int. So this is how we have to perform a specific task using a block of code. And this is nothing but a method. So basically, how to call this method? Okay. So calling a method, we do it like this. So sum, I can pass the input parameters as something like x comma y. Okay. So where x is equals to 11 and y is equals to 22. So x and y are integers. Int x, int y. Okay. So here x comma y are called as arguments, actual arguments. Okay. X comma y are called as actual arguments. And then a comma b are called as formal parameters. Okay, formal parameters or simply parameters. And then here x comma y are called as actual arguments or simply arguments. So this is a technical word which is designated to arguments and parameters. Arguments means which we pass to call a method. Parameters means which are accepted while calling a method. Okay, so arguments means passing values to method call. Next, parameters means accepting input values to a method. So this is what is the difference between arguments and parameters. So here we have int. So the parameters what we are passing to the sum method are integer data type or primitive data type. Okay, so here input parameters, input values or parameters are int data type values. So these are primitive data type values. So now what we are going to do is we are going to pass object as parameter to a method. Okay, right. So passing object as parameter to a method. Right. Now let us say that we have M1 method. Okay. So let us say you have class A. In this class A, we have void M1 method. Right. So for this M1 method, we will be passing A obj2. So object as parameter to method. Okay, so this is class object as parameter to method. So how to call this method? So from the main method we call it like this. Okay, so it is called as follows. So we'll create an object of class A. Okay, right, and then we'll call the m1 method obj1 dot m1, and here we have to pass the object. Okay, so whatever the object you are passing, it will be something like obj1. So object as parameter to the method. So this is what is call by reference in Java. So technically it is called call by reference. So what is this call by reference? Okay, so when we are passing obj1 as a parameter to m1 method, obj1 data members are not passed. It will be passing its object reference code. Okay, right? So here when obj1 is passed as argument to m1 method, its data members or methods are not passed. Okay, data members or methods are not passed, but its object reference code is passed. Object reference code is passed. Okay, right. So what is this object reference? Okay, so object reference code is a unique code, also known as hash code. Okay, it is a unique code which is also known as hash code. Okay, so this hash code is a unique identification of an object. Okay, it is a unique identification object. Okay, so non-technically we can call it as it is like address of an object. So in Java we don't have the concept of addresses, but this hash code or object reference code works like a address of an object. Okay, so when we pass object as parameter to the method, its object reference code is passed. Okay, so it means that in memory, okay, so in memory both the objects obj1 and obj2 are pointing to same actual physical object. So same actual object. So what does it mean? Let us try to take this with a small, okay, diagram. So the diagram goes like this here. One. So let us assume that this is object 1 in the memory of class A. Okay, so it belongs to class A object in memory. So its data members are x10, y20. So when we are passing object as parameter to the method m1, so its reference code is passed to obj2. Okay, so object reference 1 reference code is passed to object 2. Okay, so in memory it is like this: object 1 object reference code is passed or assigned to obj2. Okay, So when it is assigned to obj2, so in memory, okay, obj2 also points to the same object. It will be pointing to the same object. So this is our obj2, and this obj1 and obj2 both belongs to class A. So if we do any changes with obj2, okay, they are updated to obj1. Okay, so any changes done with obj2, okay, are updated to obj1. So this is what we call it as call by reference. So for example, if obj2 is changing the x value to 100, okay, so let us say that x value and y value both are changed to 100 and 200. Let us assume that x is changed to 100, okay, and y is changed to 200. So what happens here, this x and y values will be reflected to obj1 object also. So this is what we call it as call by reference. Okay, so in M1 method, if we do any changes with obj2, that will be reflected to obj1. Okay, so this is important point. Any changes done with obj2, okay, any changes done with obj2, okay, in M1 method are updated or reflected to obj1 in main method. So this is what we call it as call by reference. So this mechanism is called call by reference. Okay, right. So we have this concept in C, C++ using pointers, but in Java it is done with object reference code. Okay, so let us try to implement this, okay, in the form of a program. Object as method parameter, example1 dot java. So program to demo object as method parameter. Okay, right. So let us take a new page. First we'll write the comments. So we'll take the main class, okay, object as method parameter, example1. So we'll take the main method, public static void main string of args. So let us save this program in our working directory. So save the program as object as method parameter example1 dot java. Right. So first we'll take class A. Okay. So inside class A we'll take two data members x and y. So void m1 a obj2 object as parameter, and then using obj2 we'll change the values of x and y. So obj2 dot x is equals to something like 100, obj2 dot y is equals to something like 200. Okay, right. So let's come to the main class. In the main class, main method will create an object of class A obj1. So using first obj1 dot x will assign 10, obj1 dot y will assign 20. Okay, right. So first we'll say display method void display method. So here we'll display the values of x and y. So system dot out dot println. Okay, so we'll display x value something like plus x, and similarly we'll display y value as plus y. Okay, right. So first here we'll say system dot out dot println using obj1. Okay, we'll call the display method obj1 dot display. Okay, so let us try to compile and run this. So using obj1, the value should be 10 and 20. So come to the command prompt, go to your working directory, compile the program, object as, okay, method parameter example 1. So compile this, no error, and run it. Java object as method parameter. So using object 1, x 10, y 20 are the data members. Now using object 1, I'll call m1 method. So for this m1 method, I'll pass object 1 as parameter. So when we pass object 1 as parameter, object 1 reference code is passed to object 2. So in memory, object 1 and object 2 will be pointing to the same object. So obj2 is assigned with obj1 reference code. Okay, so obj1 object reference code is assigned. So its data members are not assigned, reference code is assigned. So in memory, obj1 and obj2 will be pointing to same object. So in memory, obj1 and obj2 points to same object. Now using obj2, I'm changing the values of x, y, 100, 200. Okay, right. So here what I will do, I'll just call, right, obj2 dot display. So using object 2, obj2 dot display. So when you say obj2 dot display, x and y should be 100 and 200. So it will display x, y, 100 and 200. So let us recompile this and run it. So xy 100 and 200 using obj2, which had changed the original values of obj1. Now after executing this method, the control will come back to the main method. So in the main method, once again I will say, okay, so once again using object 1 obj1 dot display. Now the values are changed to 100 and 200. We will not get the previous values 10, 20. We will get the new values 100 and 200. So this is called as call by reference. Compile and run. So once again using object 1 in the main method, xy values are 100 and 200. So changes done with obj2 are updated to obj1. So once again using obj1, the values will not be 10, 20, but it will be updated with 100 and 200. So this is how whenever we pass object as parameter to the method, what happens means its reference code is passed, but not its data members or methods. So in memory, both the objects obj1 and obj2 will be pointing to the same object, and any changes done with this formal parameter, obj2 is parameter here, are updated to argument, actual argument, which is obj1 in the main method. So obj1 is the actual argument. So this is how call by reference is achieved using object as parameter to method in Java program. And this concept is related to object reference variable. Thank you for watching this video. Do like and share this video, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel Sri Sai IT Hub. Have a nice day.